Hi YouTube, Muchismo Eugene, another exit strategy video. I'm going to title this video Narcs of the Past. And the reason why I'm going to title that Narcs of the Past is because randomly, just random thoughts one day, and this was a while ago. I was going to make the video some time ago, maybe even as long as a year ago. But the thought came up again because as you get educated and as you're getting more awareness and you're getting healthy, and all the scales are falling off your eyes as far as your own self worth, rebuilding yourself, your own self awareness, knowing who you are as a human being, whatever, what have you. You begin to see these externals that you thought you needed to complete you or accentuate you, make you somewhat more and better of what you already are. You don't need them. Be it a woman or guy, the job, the car, whatever it is, you find out your happy place is with less. Less is best, at least for me. And I've always felt something deep inside of me as that's where my healthy place was. But as you know, when you have childhood wounds and all the traumas and all the things that we tend to do as far as what we believe helps us to measure up in life, we go with the flow. But once you're out of the matrix, it's a whole different game. So, shout out to uh, one of the newest YouTube guys on here. Uh, I'm gonna get his name right. Uh, Operation Narcissist Nemesis. That's his name. Operation Narcissist Nemesis. Terrell. Check him out. I think, man, you'd be richly blessed, man. You want to talk about a guy that really talks straight, unfiltered, unscripted, and strictly straight from his heart. Big amount of humility there, but I won't linger. Just go check him out, and bless you, bro. Narcs of the Past. It was a situation. Okay, let me give you this. Give you the backstory. This was a time when, after, like some of us or a lot of us, you're going from one bad relationship or an unsuccessful relationship for whatever reason it was, and you have a little bit of a break in between that. You sort of tend to take a short hiatus uh, and just are not dating. Then you get an itch and you come across somebody that maybe tell you, hey, check this out. Go here and blah, blah, blah. Maybe you can find someone that you're compatible with, and on and on and on. So, what I'm getting at dating sites, this is a situation where I don't think I've ever been on a dating site and hadn't been on a dating site prior to this. And I'm going to tell you the dating site it was. It was Tagged, Tagged, and I'm sure everybody here may have heard of the site, and some of us have maybe even been on it. I'm late to the party, I guess. And this was back in 20. And this interesting video. This is interesting. This video, I believe, because it's interesting for me now that I'm reminiscing about it. And I'm hoping somebody can kind of like clear out some of the old baggage that we've been carrying around with regards to some of these old relationships that actually were narcissists, but we happen to have gotten out of them or gotten away almost unscathed. And as I begin to talk about this, you're going to understand exactly what I mean by that. Because all narcissist relationships, I think, that we've been in, did we get destroyed, or even did it impact us intentionally? Because I believe some narcissists are so bad off till they're lazy anyway. They won't put too much effort up for you or into you if they think there's no residuals. If it's not paying huge dividends, they're not going to invest in you. So I went untagged and I was browsing around, and I'm hitting several women up. I'm just hitting. It's like a dice game, and I never really played dice, but it's funny how normally healthy people would look for one person and it be good enough. But in this case, I was throwing the hook out for multiple. I guess I was just rolling the dice, and if and when I got a potential person to be involved with, that was going to be that. Into which it what well, let me take that back, because in the pursuit of trying to find someone or seeking someone, and I knew off the top that this site was just a whole bunch of foolishness. People looking for a good time, hit it and quit it, whatever you want to call that. And me myself, I wasn't really so much that type of guy, but getting on this site that made me this type of guy. Because there were maybe 3 or 4 people that I had gotten acquainted with, or over the phone, text, whatever. So I'm big on interaction. I'm big on verbal communication. I'm big on actually seeing the person, or actually now with video cam, or what do you call it, FaceTime. But before that, I was always into verbal communication, the call on the phone. I was never really all about the text. If I'm involved with someone, I would really like to talk to them. I like to hear their voice. I want them to hear my voice, because there's certain things in the voice that I believe I can detect: mood, demeanor, what have it. So that's an empath. That's an empath for sure. But these narcissists, they'll initially have this kind of communication with you because they're mirroring everything anyway. But they'll shut it down almost to the point where you can't even reach them. But they'll do it so nonchalantly, they'll have you thinking that it wasn't on purpose, but we all know everything they do is on purpose, good or bad. I reached out to the girl on tag. She lived in Syracuse, New York. And I'm giving a location as far as where she was from. And it doesn't matter. Some things I don't get specific, but in this case I will. She could have been from anywhere. But that being the case, we chalked it up. We talked for a little while. We got to know each other. At least I thought, man. We had, they start out telling you, this is the passive aggressiveness about them. They're very passive. They're very easygoing, seemingly over the phone, but they're actually reading you. They're reading you. So began to talk to her a little bit about what I do and blah, 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 landscaping, excavation. Oh, I need my lawn cut. I need my lawn, but I don't got a lawnmower. My lawnmower broke, blah, blah, blah. And so they can detect that you are a giver. You are the type of person you want to do. You want to help. You want to be needed. And so I didn't tell her what I was planning to do. And when I did it, I didn't even plan to do it at the time. It was just something I thought about on the cuff or on the go. We set up a situation where I was going to come to her house, and she was going to, I was going to come to her house, and we were just going to hang out and get to know each other, meet and greet, whatever. So I committed to that. And in doing that, setting that up, by hearing her say that her lawn had overgrown, hadn't been cut in like a month. Me, I had several lawnmowers in my backyard. Landscape excavator. I had a lawnmower. I had a John Deere self-propelled lawnmower in my backyard. And so I retrieved it from the backyard, and I put it in my vehicle, and I headed en route to her house. She didn't know I was bringing it. So when I got there, I don't think she knew. I don't think I told her. So when I pull up, I take the lawnmower off the vehicle and I proceeded to push it in the back of her yard. And she was elated. And she said, "Thank you, thank you. You didn't have to do that." And I said, "No, I didn't, but I just wanted to." Now, this is before anything between us ever, um, commenced. I genuinely had extra lawnmowers, and I wanted to see this person have a lawnmower, being that they took care of their own lawn. At least that's the impression I got. So when I got there, got the lawnmower out, I showed her how to start it up. I actually started it up and proceeded to do a few runs up and down the lawn. She was like, "Oh, you don't gotta do it. My son's coming. He'll do it." Little did I know she had already called her son and texted him, and he shows up. He's like 25, 28 years old. And at the time, I think I was, this is back in mid 2015, 2016. I'm not even real certain. Probably 7 years ago. A little bit more, give or take. So he pulls up. I'm still pushing the lawn, or I'm doing the lawn, self-propel, whatnot. And he pulls up. She tells me to shut it off, and I shut it off. She tells me, "Oh, meet my son." I meet him. We shake hands, whatnot. He comes across like he's very respectful, very respectful to me and his mom. And this is just a show, He stays for a little while outside, and maybe 5 minutes, and he takes off because he said he had to leave and to go to work or do something. But he'd be back to do the lawn. "Thank you, appreciate the lawnmower. Thank you for getting that from my mom." And I'm just like, wow, these people appreciate this. And so we proceeded in the house, pushed the lawnmower in behind the shed or something, and we proceeded into the house. She was like, "Oh man, I'm so excited you got me that. You didn't have to do that. I'm gonna do something good for you. I'm gonna make you dinner." I said, "You don't have to. It's okay." So she said, "Yeah." She said, "What do you like to eat?" And me, this is my answer when people ask me that. I just like food. I mean, I'm not really a picky eater, but I'm not an exotic eater. I'm pretty standard. I don't have a favorite food. If I do, I don't know what it is, but we went to the grocery store. She proceeded to go down the aisles and buy, I don't know, a handful of things to put together this thing that she was going to make, this meal. And so we get to the register. She gets the price. The cashier gives her the price. I think it was like $45, $65, something like that. Who knows? She said, "Oh, okay." She goes in her wallet and gets the money out and pays for it. I don't notice anything out of the ordinary. So she pays for the food, the grocery. We proceed to go back home. She proceeds to cook. I go in the living room and sit down for about 5 minutes, maybe 15. I smell stuff going and going, and I get up and I go in the kitchen. I was like, "That smells good." She was like, "Quiet." She's standing near her island in the kitchen. She's standing slumped over, in a slight slumped over position, standing straight up though, with her head sort of at an angle, with her, just like, and I was like, "What's going on?" Say, "You quiet." She shook her head and she said, never looking at me. And this is what she said. She said, I just thought maybe you would have helped me pay for some of the food. I didn't know I had to buy it all. Something to that degree. She wasn't really overtly mean or yelling. It was in that tone. She said, I just thought maybe you would have helped pay for some of the food. I didn't know I was going to buy everything. Just like that. So my response wasn't immediate, but I not kinda, I was lost for words. I was waiting for the pen to drop. Like, speechless. Like, I'm thinking, is she is really? And I think I said, this is what I said. This is before I even knew about narcissistic personality disorder. So I really had an assertiveness about myself, which is why most relationships I've been in, I cannot have any type of dialogue with them because of the outspokenness, the directness. My yes is yes, my no is no. I don't give false breaks like I'm going to do something and then expect something in return, other than someone to respect me and just basically, just not to take advantage of my kindness. So, which is what normal people do. We don't really look for anything back from anything if we have good intentions when we give. Okay. She says this, and then my reply was, you offered to make dinner. You offered to go to the store and buy it. I would have been fine staying here. But since you offered, I didn't find it, and I'm paraphrasing, I didn't get the impression that you needed me to support that or contribute to that. And this is the way I worded it, to this effect. I now know today, after all the studying and listening to videos and reading comments, which gains immense clarity to what we have gone through. When we read someone's comment and we can almost put our life story on that page and cover their comment in would be word for word, that is very liberating. Not to say that you wish you're happy that other people have gone through this. It validates to you that this is bigger than you could even imagine. This is more prevalent. This is more of a growing concern than it ever has been, and it will continue to be a growing problem. Now, she said this. That, I believe, was a narcissistic injury. I didn't bring the fact that I had brought a lawnmower to her, a whole lawnmower. Lawnmower, it was a used John Deere self-propelled lawnmower. It was, as far as I know, they don't sell the John Deere self-propels in your Lowe's or Home Depots. This was a light commercial duty walk behind self-propelled John Deere lawnmower. And it wasn't one of the bigger ones with the hydros. It looks like a homeowner's. But the difference was, it was, in its design, was commercial. It was about a 32-inch wide, which is the standard for most homeowners to push walk behind lawnmowers. But they're just built differently. They're built for actually, I'll show you a few things that makes this lawnmower different from a lot of the lawnmowers that you might buy at your big box stores. This lawnmower had an oil filter on the side, which is what most commercial lawnmowers have. It had its own independent oil filter. um, and a few other little minor details that separated it from it. Had more torque. It had maybe more, the metal that it was made from was a little more durable. Anyway, you get the point. Even a standard lawnmower from Lowe's, even Walmart, $100 lawnmower would have been just ideal. Bringing you a lawnmower to do your lawn. When you count the cost of what the lawn costs to cut, either anywhere from average 40 to 60 bucks, to which she didn't have to pay anybody to do that. You get the point here. The audacity of this person to bring that kind of statement to the forefront, that remark to the forefront. I was perplexed. I didn't understand what would make her feel that way or say that, nor did I even give it any long-term thought. But what it did do to me, it was like a sour taste in my mouth of the lack of gratitude. So she made the meal, we ate, and for some reason, I don't think her mood remained that way. I think it went from that, and in a couple of minutes, it went back to, I want to say, somber, like it never happened. And I now know that is them, the narcissist, her, focusing on something of a greater benefit, which was probably eating and getting towards the bedroom. This is what they do when they first meet you. You shortchange them in one area. They have already mastered in their mind what their next move is going to be. It's almost like a bowling game. They roll the ball. They may knock one pin down. They're not excited about that. They come back, sit down. They roll again. They knock 4 or 5 down. That's something to be a little happier about. Lo and behold, they roll again and they get a strike. This is what the narcissist is doing. It's all a game of how many pins can I knock down in this person's life. And I'm ultimately going for a strike every time. This is the narcissist thinking. They contribute a little bit because they're going to get everything that they put into you back with interest. Now, I'm lingering this because I really want to take my time and show you guys, like, I want you to be in the driver's seat or the passenger seat of this little ride of sorts with me. Because after we ate and we began to settle in, she went from somber to just, in my mind, like that was just a thing of the past. If I remember correctly. I don't remember anything in that, to that degree, in the way that she did that or said that. I don't remember anything happening that way for the rest of the night. Now, after we ate, hung out, chill, relaxed, chill, cuddled, ended up leading to the bedroom. And I'm full disclosure with this, and I'm not embellishing it at all. We all know what happens when you go on dates and you end up getting a little bit closer. We ended up to the bedroom. Now watch this. She says to me, and this is what narcissists do, man. They'll tell you so much truth about them when you first meet them, and you don't catch it right away. They'll spill their guts about something they did with somebody else. It's almost rubbing your nose in it. They'll give you details of sex they had with the guy before you or the girl before you. They'll critique the person in front of you, like, you know, from a from a score of a 0 to 10. They were blah, blah, blah. Now, to which I don't know if she did this. She rambled on about a few things. But this is what I really want to get at. She began to talk to me in this context. She said, I just want you to know that I had herpes about a year or two ago, but they gave me some medicine and I take it, blah, 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 and it controls it and keeps it at bay, and I don't have breakouts. I haven't had a breakout in a long time. There's no cure for it, but it ain't that bad as long as you control it and take your medicine. Now, I didn't know that much about herpes, but I do know of a girl that I knew back home. I actually was dating her. We dated for a long time. I want to believe that she has had them. She had them. And yeah, it is no cure for them, I don't believe. Now, this is just being real with you guys. I've never given any woman anything, and that's not because I've been the wisest person in, my approach to intimacy or any of that, but I've just been fortunate. I've gotten a UTI by maybe 2 girls. Other than that, I haven't gotten any significant sexually transmitted disease, and I would hope that that remains the case. But the decisions I make are going to be, they're going to be paramount to what, the results of that. I got to do what I got to do, because going forward, those things are the past. The recklessness and the things that we tend to do looking back, because we trust that person. We think that they are the one. So, getting the picture on that. She told me this, and I'm looking at her. Now, you got to understand, this is a lot of craziness they throw at you at once. Like the food, and they're really trying to test you to see how much crap you can take from them. They're actually tormenting you. This is an appetizer torment, if you will, before the main course. They're appetizing, tormenting you mentally. Now, my response to that was a lot of questions, like, what? You telling me this stuff, man, just before we're about to get intimate. I mean, she's like, oh, you ain't gotta, if you ain't comfortable with that, I understand, but I'm just letting you know I'm being upfront with you. I don't want you to say that I wasn't honest with you, 100% straightforward with you. Now, they know that you already wound up. You're wound up sexually. Your libido's wound up. Then they give you this piece of information. This is the game that they play, because this is a point where if you resist this and say, well, this is a no-go, and you bounce, that test there, they know that you have a boundary. You have a solid boundary. You're not worth them continuing on. Now, if you do take the bait and you go along with the program, even after they've told you that they had this situation, to which I did, I consummated the visit, if you will. I used protection, but I consummated the date. Not proud of it, not embellishing it, just telling you the story as it relates to this video. Because I know a lot of us have cut corners, a lot of us have made deals with the devil on the side of just, getting some sex. We are probably of the illusion ourselves that, well, just me and her. It's my business, uh, behind closed doors. But sometimes the things we do behind closed doors becomes public. And now we're here on the YouTube channel because of our personal endeavors with these monsters. We've become public with it. And rightly so. Some things, and we don't have a problem being honest about our parts that we played in it. Simply because if you're going to tell the story, you have to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Now, we consummated the sexual interaction. Looking back at that situation, from that night to this day, my opinion has been the same. It was very boring, mechanical sex with this person. I felt like I was in the bed with a doll, a sex doll, to which I've never been with a sex doll. But to give you an analogy, that probably would be as close of an example as I can give you. No life in this person. I felt that way then, but I didn't know what I know now. Then I didn't know that this is classical narcissists. They are mechanical. Because I hadn't had sex like that. That was just so numb. Another thing she said a lot about, she bragged on, she opened her closet and she had these shoes. She had a small feet, about a 4 or 5. She was a short woman. Now, she had a whole closet lined, both walls, probably, each wall was like 12 foot wide. It's probably deodorant I'm using. Sorry, yo. Polyester shirt. She had 12 foot this way, 12 foot that way. All of these shoes, and she was just going down the line and just talking to me about her shoes. I got a shoe addiction, blah, 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 blah. But I work hard, I need to spoil myself a little bit, blah, blah, blah. These Nikes here, they cost, they don't make these no more, blah, blah, blah. These are worth a lot of money. And I'm thinking to myself, this lady is almost 50 years old and she ain't here bragging about sneakers and shoes. How shallow. But that was just one little more tidbit about her. So I know now without a shadow of a doubt that this was a narcissist. Very covert. But you ask, how did you end up breaking ties with her? Well, I think you probably know how that day ended. I actually bounced and I never revisited that situation with them. I don't even believe I called them back or anything. They may have reached out. Yeah, I know for a fact. I discarded her before I even knew what that was. That was one of the only times, if it ever was, I think I've had that ability to know if something was not good for me. I've ceased and desist in a few cases in my life. I can't readily remember another one specifically. If I do, I'll come on and do a video about that. But this particular one I'm talking about today, and I'll talk about the German girl, because I really want to tell you what these people go on to do. Some of the insane things they go on to do as a demonstration for their supposed love for you. But that'll be suitable for a whole nother video. And believe me, some of you guys already know where I'm going with this one or that one. So I didn't revisit that. But what a kook, man. What a kook. And it's ironic as I close. It's 34 minutes. Wow. Well, this needed to be said because I've always been thinking about coming on and talking about this specific thing, and I never ever did it because it always got pushed off. And I got a pretty decent job. I got a great job. So when you talk about Cash App, donations, never ask for any of that. Don't really plan on doing that anytime in the future. Uh, because I'm not on here as much as I probably should be. So what I'm giving is my experience. And my experience, I wanted to help somebody like all of us. And if it does, that's good. That's good. I don't need any residuals from that. The like and subscribe thing, I would hope people like and subscribe. I believe when I do get some continuity going here, the channel probably will grow, but I have to contribute the time and the energy like a lot of the other content creators. And if you don't put in the work, you know you shouldn't look for any rewards other than the fact that the videos that you put out are helping someone. So that being the case, I actually cease and desisted with her, and I seen, well, I'm gonna share this with you too. I peek into social media all the time, not for the reasons a lot of people do, like to see what the narcissist is doing. Because believe me, the narcissists that I married, they live right down the street from me. I don't see them. I don't happen upon them in the summer. The first summer that they left, happened upon them a couple of times. Well, actually, when the country opened back up, so it was like a year after that. And man, I'm gonna tell you, they don't want to see no part of me, boy. They bounce everywhere they see me at, because you have to understand how I discarded them, man. And that video, I'll just attribute a whole video to that. I've given you guys some tidbits of how that happened, but there's just so much more detail to that, and I know that will help some people, which is the reason why I named my channel Exit Strategy, because that is actually how I that's how I discarded the narcissist. I planned and executed an exit strategy, and that is as simple as it gets. So back to what I was going to say before I close. I went back to the tag site because there are so many of the people that I used to, that I was acquainted with, not all face-to-face physical. It was only like 3 or 4 I actually visited, but like it was tons of them that I had text interaction with. And I often go down the line just looking at these specific individuals and reminiscing about the conversation of what and how the dynamics of that conversation went and determine, well, I don't do it just like systematically, but anyway, I try to determine, or not even try, it's just automatic, autonomous. It becomes like, wow, thank God I didn't get involved with this one or that one, because that one, I believe, has strong narcissist traits. Not narcissistic trait, narcissist trait. Everyone has narcissistic traits, but narcissist traits, which is the disordered narcissist, it's a personality disordered demon. I saw her. She's still on this site, grooming and damaging and destroying people's lives. I don't even want to know how many men have been inside of this woman. And she has a bald head where I believe she may have cancer. Or maybe she shaved it all off, faking cancer. Because a lot of them lie. Oh man, there's a story. I'm going to do a video on a girl. She's deceased now, but I will do a video. I won't use her name. This is deep, you know, with the experiences I've had and the people I've interacted with. I'm going to do a video. That's probably be my next one. I think I want to do that one first, and then I'll worry about something else. I'll show you how psychotic of an individual this person became didn't do me any direct harm or anything like that. But this is a different psychoticness, and I'll share that with you. So yeah, she's still on there and bald head and everything. Didn't even look at any of her information or whatnot because I don't need to. I wasn't that interested. I just happened upon her picture and I was like, wow. And I didn't even search for her picture or her name because I don't even remember her name. It's kind of like I unplugged from that whole situation because that was just kooky. And so that was the story that I wanted to share with you guys. You know, the narcissists of the past. I think we all have dealt with some narcissists in relationships in the past, but we happened to have gotten away and out of them. They discarded us in ways that they never returned, and those are the ones that we really got to be grateful for, that they didn't continue their pursuit, because the ones that did almost destroy us, we know how it feels, and you know, that's just not a good look. So the ones that passed us over, let's be grateful and thankful for that. And you know, hey, you guys enjoy Christmas morning, waking up with your family and doing something good with the family, eating a great meal, sharing great conversation, exchanging some gifts, and just being safe and just appreciate one another. With that, bless.